The John Lebang Show has been known to make people laugh, sing, think, scream, throw things in rage, and generally lose their minds. Listener discretion is advised.
Scheduled programming to bring you a show on the edge, broadcasting worldwide and out to the greater universe. You're listening to the John Lebang Show.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 6 weeks since we've been behind this mic. Took a little summer vacation. You got to hear all those cool specials that you guys are always chiming for, so that's what we give you in our time off. And I want to tell you I really appreciate you stopping in, as we've got a lot on the docket here on our 300th episode of the John Lebang Show. And I mean, I am so humbled that I've been able to do this for so long and have many of you who have been with me since the very beginning when I was doing this on YouTube on, 2012 we began this broadcast with a 13 episode first season. And all of a sudden we've reached 300 episodes. I'm flabbergasted. And all the things that have happened between then and now. The many stations that we're affiliated with on a syndicated basis. We would have never thought this would have happened when we began this on YouTube years ago. We were getting good enough numbers there. We didn't think we needed to expand. But there was a little bit of reason why we expanded into internet radio, and it's been for the better. Because we have many great affiliate stations that back us and support us and promote us and talk about our show. Those owners that own those stations deserve a lot of credit for hanging in there with us through the ups and downs. We've seen our numbers skyrocket, and in some stations they don't show up at all, and these stations still continue to put our show on their network, and we really appreciate it. At last count, with all our stations, we're reaching about 100,000 listeners a month. Now, to the big boys, that's really nothing. They knocked that out in the first 10, 15, 20 minutes of their first hour. But for somebody who began on YouTube, who has no educational background in the radio industry, I always wanted to be in the radio. We did DJing when we were younger. But to expand into this format, this platform, the way we have, has been an amazing journey. And I want to thank every person who's been with me from the very beginning, everyone who was just tuning in for the first time, and all the people in between who constantly come back on a regular basis, listen in, send us emails, tell us we're doing great, thanking us for the information that we give you. So I want to give my big thanks to all of you. You have no idea how much I appreciate the support that you give me. I don't always say it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't always say it because there's a lot going on that we talk about. And we try to give you as much information each and every hour as we can. We don't try to shortchange you. We try to pack them full. So sometimes we forget to thank our listeners. We also have these great stations that not only do you have to thank the owners as a radio host like myself for doing such a great job and backing us the way they do, but the fact that they're carrying independent stations and they're all over the world and they're doing what they want to do is an amazing feat, and I want to thank them for putting the effort in, not only in helping the show get bigger and bigger, but for even being there and doing their own thing, because that's one of the biggest things that we promote here on the John Lebang Show, and that's individualism, working hard to get where you want to go. We don't believe in those free lunches. We don't believe in getting things for free. And that's why we'll do video promos for the different stations that put a lot of time in. The stations that don't put a lot of time in, we give them a chance, and if they can't hang in there for whatever reason, we regrettably have to let them go. But we're here because, as I spoke earlier, we started on YouTube and we were getting great numbers there, but the numbers began to drop. The numbers began to fall, not by any doing that we might have been involved with. It's not like we give you bad reporting. We've made some mistakes in the past, and hopefully we've corrected all the mistakes we have made. But we were one of the first people on YouTube especially that faced that shadow banning. And that was going on with a lot of different alternative media types. And we've seen recently with the Alex Jones thing, him being not only shadow banned, they said, the heck, we don't want to go that far. We want to go even further. And they've deplatformed Alex Jones and InfoWars on every kind of media there is. Every kind of media there is. Facebook, he's gone. YouTube, he's gone. Now Twitter, he's gone. That just happened. Twitter wasn't going to get rid of him, but then they did. Now Apple does the same thing with his app. You can't use the app to get to the Alex Jones site anymore. And they give you this garbage. This garbage that Alex is giving objectionable content. That's what Apple put out. And he's violating other content policies on these other sites. I'm no fan of Alex Jones. We have a little fun with him every once in a while. We make fun of him here on the broadcast. But when you say objectionable content, or it's violating the policies of the platform, then why don't you apply that across the board to everybody, not just the ones you consider on the right there. We're not supposed to see nudity, but there are breastfeeding videos on YouTube with women and their boobs hanging out while they're breastfeeding. But there's supposed to be no nudity. But that's not offensive content. That's not objectionable content. You can go to certain race groups who preach damn near violence. Damn near violence. Maybe not saying go out and lynch that sucker. But they're close. And they're still up on YouTube. So I feel for Alex Jones. And if we don't say something right now, if we don't stand up and say, hey, this is bogus what you're doing, because you're creating a reason to get rid of one of the biggest voices in the alternative media, like him or not. And I'm not a fan of Alex Jones, but I realize that Alex Jones was the largest voice on the alternative side. Like it or not. There's a lot of other guys out there that they've played it a little closer to the vest. Alex gets hot-headed. We understand that. I get a little hot-headed sometimes. But Alex goes off the rail, makes wild accusations, claims, very much like the president at times, very much like a lot of people on the left of the aisle do as well. You got to remember, the people on the left were the ones who started the 9/11 truth movement. They were the conspiracy theorists back in 2001. Remember, inside job. Did you think that came from a right-winger? No, that came from the left-wingers because Bush was in office. And the reasonable people who would technically be on the right read the information, absorbed the information, and said, hey, maybe you're right. It might not have gone down the way you said. Speaking of 9/11, we're going to talk about that a little later on in the show because we're coming up on the 17th anniversary. But here you get Alex Jones deplatformed across the board, almost all in the same day, except for a couple other social media sites that waited a week or 2, 3 to ban him as well. They didn't want to look like it was some sort of collusion. Although when you objectively look at the situation, that's exactly what is happening. It is collusion within the social media platforms because they're all connected. You want to know why they're all connected? You think Twitter and YouTube and Facebook and all these other social media platforms are independent from each other? You're full of crap. Want to know that? Want to know why I say that, ladies and gentlemen? Want to know why I say that? And it's because when all these platforms decide to change something up, they do it almost simultaneously across the board. And you can easily link your logins from one site to another. Oh, you can log in with Facebook if you want to use this other site. You've seen it all before. So you know they're all interconnected. So this illusion that they're independent of each other is a fallacy. And because of that fact, when we notice, when we find out, when we see that they take out one of the largest voices in alternative media, Alex Jones, virtually at the same time, in one giant swoop, you have to call that collusion. And because Alex Jones, and I'm talking about the alternative media, including myself, the alternative media was the one who helped get Donald Trump elected, and they were vital in that. They were the biggest voices, not Fox News, not these right-wing radio stars like Rush Limbaugh and Hannity. It was the alternative media that got the word out about Hillary. And it's amazing that we had to do such hard work and put in overtime to expose Hillary Clinton when it should have been common knowledge how big of a scumbag she is, but it wasn't. Many people didn't think Hillary was a dirtbag. You see, but I faced this before Alex Jones, and nobody said a damn word about it. In 2007, I came out on YouTube. I was getting 10,000 views, 5,000 views. I've got a few that have 20 or 30,000 views. Not millions. But then the Boston bombing happened. And I produced a video of Family Guy. You know that TV show, The Family Guy, where it looks like they were pretty much predicting the Boston bombing. That's right. And I was knocked off of YouTube for 6 months. And then when I came back after that 6 months, when my penalty was over, I still couldn't monetize. And the videos that I produced after the fact, which before the fact I was gaining subscribers and views every month. I was well over 1,000 subscribers. My videos on a bad day were 200 or 300 views, but on a good day, they could have been 15 or 20,000 views. That takes a couple days, actually. After that, nothing, zero, nada. That's why I decided to go to radio. That's why I'm here, ladies and gentlemen. Because this is still the one platform that is not in their control. Although, I suspect it won't take long. Once they eliminate everybody they need to eliminate off the social media platforms and make it so difficult for the alternative views to be expressed, once they get rid of all those, then they're going to come after the internet radio stations, and don't doubt me here. Some FCC ruling, and we've already had some rulings on the internet-based radio. I'm lucky because not only am I on internet, but I'm on AM and I'm on FM. So they find a way to regulate all that. More power to them, I guess. We got to take a quick break, folks. I've gone long this segment. When we return, we'll talk about, well, the White House insider and who they might be. Don't go anywhere now.
John will be right back right after this.
Yes, it will. Check out the new book from Derek Shelmerdine,
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
It tells the story of rock and roll from its roots right up until the mid-'70s punk.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Not just the music, but also the events that shaped the music.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
It includes the backgrounds to recording sessions, singles, album releases, births and deaths, epic concerts, and festivals.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Shelmerdine has made a painstaking effort to document pretty much every event that would prove significant in shaping popular music.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Purchase the book at www.rockandrollunraveled.com. Follow him at Twitter at R&R Unraveled, and look him up on Facebook at Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
By author Derek Shelmerdine.
Available now. You're listening to the John Lebang Show.
It's hydroponic radio for your brain, man. You feel smarter yet? Hey, Leroy, get ready to turn that radio on. Okay, Uncle Shady. What's wrong with the radio? It doesn't seem to be working, Uncle Shady. You know, all we got's cheap stuff around here. We need to get some new equipment. What are we going to do now, Uncle Shady? I don't know. You want me to tell you a story? What kind of story you got? Maybe we should talk about the 300. What's that, Uncle Shady? Oh, that's a historical event that happened a long time ago. I never heard of that before. Well, here, both of you sit down and let me tell you the story. Oh, that sounds very fun. Okay, Uncle Shady. Now, once upon a time, there were the Spartans. From Michigan State, Uncle Shady? No, I'm not talking about some stupid college football team, Leroy. I'm talking about some badass warriors that you didn't want to mess with. Oh, okay, Uncle Shady. Now, will you hush so I can tell the story? My bad, Uncle Shady. Now, one of the baddest of all the badass was the king. He was named Leonidas. What is his name? I said Leonidas. Now, don't you start interrupting me either. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, you better be. Now, as I was saying, when these Spartans were born, they were examined. You mean like the doctor, Uncle Shady? Damn right they would. They'd look all over them, and only the best were allowed to live. Now, when Leonidas was 7 years old, they took him away from his mother, and they sent him out into the world. Like New York or something, Uncle Shady? No, it's not like the world today, Leroy. It was a hard world where he had to fight to stay alive against nature, animals, and sometimes even against other kids. Why would they do that, Uncle Shady? Listen here. This is how you become a badass, Leroy. Not like those sissy girly boys of today. Now please hush and let me continue my story. Okay. So he was taught how to show no pain and no mercy. Just him against whatever the world would throw at him. But why would they do that? Well, it's his initiation to become a Spartan. And if he didn't make it back, that was tough doo-doo. Oh. Now one time, he came up against a wolf that was as big as a bear. It was hungry and ugly. How ugly was it? It was so ugly, Hillary would look like Miss America next to it. Oh, that is ugly. Now hush. Well, this wolf, it stalked him in the dark, and then it stalked him in the day, and then it stalked him again the next night. But he was ready, and when that wolf attacked, he slayed that beast. What does that word mean? It means he killed it. Oh, this is very scary. And after that, he was now a Spartan and a king. So 30 years go by or so, and a beast from the east was approaching. But this time it wasn't some kind of giant wolf. It was an army led by the god king Xerxes. And Xerxes sent his messenger to talk to Leonidas.
Sire, personal messenger has arrived.
Can't you see I'm getting on with the queen here?
I'm sorry, sire, but it looks urgent.
This better be good.
Here's the messenger from Persia.
Hello, Leonidas.
Before you start jibber-jabbering, know that here in Sparta, everybody is held accountable for their big mouth. So just remember that. Now what the hell's your message?
Earth and water.
You brought your sorry ass all the way from Persia for earth and water?
If you care about your wives and lands over complete annihilation, listen carefully, Leonidas. Xerxes conquers everything he sets his eyes on, and the size of his army is so massive it causes the earth to shake when it moves.
Just like my last bowel movement.
All he requires is your earth and water as a token of Sparta's submission.
Now listen here, fella. We're real men here, not like you weirdos from the east side. Hell, I even heard that the Athenians told you to stick it up your backside. And you know, if those fairies gave you the finger, then us Spartans have to tell you to go finger yourself as well. You freakos do that, right?
Choose your next word wisely, Leonidas, for they may be your last as king.
All you want is earth and water, huh? Well, I don't think so.
This is madness and blasphemy.
You'll find plenty of earth and water where you're going, bub.
No one threatens a king's messenger.
Listen here, buddy. You brought the heads and crowns of conquered kings to my city, and it's you who are threatening my people with slavery and death. You must be stupid. You're messing with the wrong people, fella. Because you know why?
I'm sure you will tell me.
Damn right I will. Because this is Sparta! So that puts an end to that crap.
What do we do now, sire?
Well, I better go talk to those strange priest folks up in the mountain. You know, I don't know why, but they have a say in all this crap. I'll be right back. And then Leonidas climbed up the mountain. Oh, welcome, Leonidas. We've been expecting you. Listen here, we got a big problem. What do you mean? Well, this ugly ruler of Persia has sent his army to attack us. So what I thought was I'm going to take our army and fight them at the home gates. And I just came up here to let you know. But this is our most religious time of the year. We cannot wage war. Listen, if we don't do it now, there's gonna be no later. Trust in the gods, Leonidas. Oh man, why should I listen to a bunch of religious nuts? Well, the gods told us not to wage war right now. So Sparta must not do so. Oh, whatever. Next time I won't ask. Goodbye. Damn bureaucracy.
So what did they say, sire?
Oh, who cares? Did you round up those guys I told you to get?
I got our best 300 men ready to go, sire.
Well, let's get the hell out of here.
Move out, fellas.
Yo, Leonidas, how you doing? Hey, what's going on, neighbor? We heard the Spartans were on the march. Yeah, we're going to kick Xerxes' butt. That's what we heard, so we came to help you. But hell, man, I thought you'd bring more soldiers than me. What are you talking about? Look at all the men we got here. Looks like you only got about 300 men, man. Hey, you over there.
Who, me?
Yeah, you. What do you do for a living?
Oh, I'm a scientist.
And you? What do you do?
I'm a radio talk show host.
Uh-huh. And what about you over there?
Oh, I'm a dog trainer.
Spartans, what do you do for a living? See, my friend, I've got more soldiers than you.
Looks like we're being followed.
Yeah, I see that. Just some ugly fella.
All right, here we are, fellas.
All right, everybody set up shop. We're going to go up on the cliff there and see what the enemy's doing. Leonidas is captain, and his neighbor climbed to the top of the cliff.
What do you think?
I think we're in big trouble, man. There's way too many for us to handle. Oh, keep quiet. We can handle this. Looks like battle formations.
Here they come.
All right, men. This is where we hold them. And this is where we kick their asses.
Get ready, everyone.
All right, here we go. Yeah, take that, you ugly bugger. Oh, shit. Look out.
That must have hurt.
Oh, did that hurt? I'm sorry. Let me try it again. Oh, shit. Look at that.
I guess you can't get back up when your leg's cut off.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's gross, man.
Here, let me stab you in the face for good measure.
Walk that off. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to stab you in the face.
Oh, you missed. You missed. You missed again. Here, hold on. See, that's how you kill somebody.
That must hurt. Oh, look out. Oh, duck, man. Oh, you just missed him. Here, let me give you a hand.
There you go.
I hope that's not your masturbating hand.
Geronimo.
Wow, your head came off pretty easy. I heard about a crew cut, but that's ridiculous. Well, that was easy.
Hell of a good start if you ask me.
All right, everybody, clean up this mess. Then let's get some lunch. Hey, man, when are we going to be able to fight?
Sire, our neighbors are wanting to get into this fight.
Well, I think I have something they can handle. Oh, look at that, man. There's a flag of truce coming.
Looks like the Persians want to talk.
All right, let me go talk to them. Let me guess. You're Xerxes, right?
Oh, that's me. I came to reason with you. Oh, it would be nothing short of madness for you, brave king, and all of your men to be whipped by my legions over a simple misunderstanding. And there's a lot we could share together.
Listen here, I don't go that way. And to be honest, we've been sharing an ass kicking with all your men already.
Oh, why do you have to be such a killjoy? Don't you know who you're talking to?
Yeah, the Far East Ferry.
Oh, don't get lippy with me. I could destroy you just like this.
Just like what?
Oh, like this. Well, I was snapping better earlier.
Yeah, I know a few people that can't whistle either.
But anyways, just give up already.
Well, I don't think so. Look around you. These are all your men that are dead. Mine are still here.
Oh, it isn't wise to stand against me. Imagine all the horrible and disgusting things awaiting my enemies if I don't even care about my own men.
Well, that's your problem, bub. You don't care.
Oh, you Greeks are all the same, running around half naked and never putting out. Consider the fate of your women.
I don't think you like women. And by the look of it, the way your guys fight, I should have brought the women instead. It would have been a fair fight. And don't worry, it won't be long and all your men will be running back to Persia like little whiny babies.
Oh, whatever. My power's unstoppable. But I'm generous. And I'll make you a deal. If you surrender and kneel at my feet, I'll stop attacking you.
Well, that's the problem, bub. I got a bad knee. And when I kneel, it's hard to get back up. So I'm going to have to pass on your offer.
Oh, now you've just gone too far. You're just a jerk.
Yeah, and you're ugly. Now get the hell out of here before I kick your butt too.
Oh, you're a big fat jerk. I'll be back in a minute.
Hey neighbor, better tell your men lunch is over. Oh, you got it, man. And you. Hope that boo-boo isn't gonna make you useless.
It's only a knot. I've got two.
Well, don't worry about it. I need you for something else.
And what's that?
Well, I need you to head home and tell everybody what happened here.
But I don't want to leave you, sire.
Oh, just do it. Like that Nike commercial.
If you say so, sire.
Now get going. Hey, Spartans, are you ready?
Ho, ho, ho!
All right, because all hell's about to break loose.
Oh, I told you that I would come back and that you didn't stand a chance.
How do you recruit that many people?
Oh, I just love converting people to my side.
Yeah, I can see that. Not the best and the brightest, but the ugliest.
Now kneel before me, or my army's gonna destroy you.
Let me think about it.
Oh, just drop your weapons and surrender already.
You know what? Up yours, bud. Does that offend you, by the way?
Oh, that's not a threat.
I didn't think so. How's this? Attack!
Just kill them all!
Ah!
Oh, that hurt!
Get down! And then Leonidas was struck with not one, but many arrows, and he died. The end. That's it, Uncle Shady? I said the end now, didn't I? But it seems a little incomplete, Uncle Shady. Well, the rest is history, Leroy. Go look it up yourself. I'm tired of talking, and I'm thirsty. So before you go look that up, get me a beer, and then I'm going to bed. Okay, Uncle Shady. Now sit your butt down.
The John Lebang Show will be right back.
And I promise you'll love it. Yes? I'd like to take a quick second here to tell you about our new sponsor, Quality One Painting. For interior and exterior painting needs, call Tom at Quality One, 313-982-2986. Tom will give you free estimates, senior discounts, and I can tell you from meeting the gentleman, he's one of the nicest guys on the face of the planet. So for a quality paint job with a professional attitude, call Tom at Quality One Painting. That's 313-982-2986. 313-982-2986. Quality One Painting.
Hey, man, it's at the bottom of the hour, man. Do you know where your kids are, man?
If you want to contact the John Lebang Show, feel free to send an email to jlebang@live.com. And if you're on Twitter, look him up at John Lebang. And don't forget to go to his Facebook page at The John Lebang Show. Now here's John.
Well, I know I didn't get everything I wanted to say in the first segment there. There's just a lot going on with the entire social media platform and how they are colluding. Ladies and gentlemen, they are colluding to affect the election. And I want to know, is there going to be a congressional hearing on that? How can you say that, John? How can you say social media is colluding to affect the upcoming election? Because they're attacking the alternative media, the media that was growing, getting larger and stronger, and the one who most affected the last election. And they can't have it. And because we can't have governments meddling in the election, because that's a bad thing. We got to have investigations about that. To avoid that, the social media giants have decided to begin on banning Alex Jones, and there's going to be a trickle-down effect. And they're doing that because it was the alternative media who was the most effective at expressing the ideas and the views and the truth than the mainstream media was. In fact, the mainstream media, for the most part, attempted to give you select information that fit the narrative, but it didn't work. You're going to see all that go away soon. Speaking of the, maybe one of the first stages of that would be like in a distraction type mode. And it was a little less than a year ago when we started talking about this QAnon guy. This guy on 4chan, this person, I should say, because we don't want to discriminate. We don't want to call it a man when it might be a woman. This Q figure was giving all this cryptic information out to everybody, and people were eating it up. We did a show I think it was at the end of October, beginning of November. So we're coming up pretty close to a year on that. About the QAnon situation and what this person was putting out. And unlike everybody in the alternative media who fell for this guy, I mean, there were channels on YouTube dedicated to telling you what Q was saying on 4chan. Because some of us apparently are too stupid to go to 4chan to get that information. And after that one show, then I said, I really didn't have an opinion on the guy yet, or the person behind this. It was weird. It was cryptic. And it could have been a psyop. And so many of the people in the alternative media fell for this because they want to fall for every little conspiracy there's out there. Every little conspiracy. And they thought it was Trump, somebody in Trump's administration, somebody good. Well, just recently, the New York Times released an op-ed from somebody in the administration, mind you. The op-ed was, "I am part of the resistance inside the Trump administration." Isn't that interesting, folks? Somebody inside the Trump administration with knowledge of pretty much everything that's going on is in there attempting to thwart the objectives of the president, who is elected by the people of America. People of the United States elected him. No Russian collusion affected the election. That's per almost every official that's spoke on the subject. They got to keep digging, though. Keep digging, because eventually we'll be able to get people like Manafort and Cohen on other charges that have nothing to do with Russian collusion. But I wanted to read a little bit of this to you because I really believe that we have found Q. And I never thought Q was a good thing. And I think we know now why things aren't getting done inside the administration. Let me read from this. "I work for the president, but like-minded colleagues and I have vowed to thwart parts of his agenda and his worst inclinations, whatever that might be." They get to decide those inclinations, not the American people, by the way. The New York Times is taking a rare step of publishing an anonymous op-ed essay. As per their website, they say this: "We have done so at the request of the author, a senior official in the Trump administration whose identity is known to us and whose job would be jeopardized by its disclosure." Damn right it would be. Because if Trump knew somebody was thwarting his agenda, was undermining his authority, was derailing his administration's policies, damn right they would be fired. They'd be gone in a minute. In fact, just that opening statement tells me that there is a coup inside the White House. There are people trying to derail the president's policies. Now, we wouldn't have stand for this during the Obama administration. The American people wouldn't have. In fact, they got mad when people would release information, no matter how much the information was damaging and showed the corruption inside the Obama administration. You know Edward Snowden, right? You remember that guy. He's a fugitive. He's a fugitive for doing very similar stuff, thwarting the agenda, or at least exposing the agenda. And there were many others. The Times continues, we believe this essay anonymously is the only way to deliver important perspective to our readers. So not only is the New York Times involved in derailing the president's policies, there are people inside the government, inside the White House, close to the president, who are there for one purpose only, and that's to derail his policies. Some of the people on the left are cheering right now. Yet if it happened to one of their presidents, they would be outraged. And that's the problem with this country, isn't it? We get outraged when it happens to us, but we can do it to someone else, can't we? It's okay then. It's okay to ban a bunch of media personalities from social media platforms because we don't agree with them. Wait till they come for you. Here's some excerpts from the article. To be clear, ours is not the popular resistance on the left. Listen closely, ladies and gentlemen. We want the administration to succeed and think that many of its policies have already made America safer and more prosperous. We're trying to pinpoint this here. Who is the person writing this article? I believe it's the same person that Q is. Now, what has gotten better? From that line, they're saying they're here. Some of the already popular stuff that has happened to make America safer and more prosperous. Well, to me, it's people who probably enjoyed the tax cut, which means that they probably have some business ties. Also, the military got a bump in money, and that would make America safer, I would imagine. So now we have people with business ties and military ties. Just from this article, we can see that we can tie a little this to somebody, connect a couple dots. We continue. We believe our first duty is to this country, and the president continues to act in a manner that is detrimental to the health of our republic. Not the people out there protesting for whatever reason they want to protest. Not the people in Ferguson, Missouri who burned down that city, or the people in Baltimore who burned that down. That's not detrimental to the health of the republic. All this negative talk about the president, all this posturing on the left is not detrimental to the health of our republic. But the president is. Yet the president, who may not like how he puts things, he hasn't done all that much to weaken the presidency any more than the Obama administration did. Sure, Obama looked cleaner. Obama played the part better. But when you have the Muslim Brotherhood running in and out of the White House, that doesn't destroy the credibility of the president. Let me continue. That's why many Trump appointees have vowed to do what we can to preserve our democratic institutions while thwarting Mr. Trump's more misguided impulses until he is out of office. See, it sounds like these people inside the administration think he's not going to be there too long. In fact, they're probably working against him in preparation for the re-election. We continue. This isn't the work of the so-called deep state. It's the work of the steady state. Now, of course, the deep state isn't going to think they're bad people, and they're going to consider themselves the deep state, don't you think? Nobody thinks they're the deep state government agenda people who just want to control everybody's life. Nobody's going to say that out in the open. So they're the steady state. Whoever this person is, they are definitely part of the deep state. The reporting's been always negative before he got in the election, before he got in the White House, after he was there, and all during it. They were talking about he was crazy beforehand. See, this was an agenda to put a dark stain on this presidency and this president. There were early whispers within the cabinet to invoke the 25th Amendment. The president's not stable. If they can't find a way to impeach him, They may use the 25th Amendment. Why is he unstable? Because he's doing things or saying things that are unpopular with the mainstream political positions. That's why he's unstable. He's crazy because he doesn't think like us. That's why Alex Jones was banned by the social medias, because he must be crazy because he doesn't think like us. And anybody who thinks like Alex Jones is a conspiracy theorist, and he's crazy. See what's going on here, folks? See what's happening? But no one wanted to participate in a constitutional crisis, according to this writer of this op-ed. So we will do what we can to steer the administration in the right direction one way or another until it's over. So, in other words, they're going to make suggestions to the president for particular policy agendas. Let's use Syria. He was kind of against it in the beginning, but maybe somebody's trying to steer him into escalating Syria. Because that's better for the country. We continue. The bigger concern is not what Mr. Trump has done to the presidency, but rather what we as a nation have allowed him to do to us. Now, what have we allowed him to do to us? They say we have sunk low with him and allowed our discourse to be stripped of civility. Now, let me tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, there has been no civility on the left since before the 2016 election. No civility at all. Do you think Ferguson was civility? Do you think Baltimore was civility? Do you think all these protests everywhere Donald Trump was going during the campaign? All this, I filmed them myself. There was no civil discourse before Donald Trump got there. But now they're blaming it on Trump because, hey, he's the boogeyman. Him, Putin, all boogeymen. Let's not forget that Trump's the only one who is even talking to Putin or Kim Jong-un. Before that, we didn't really talk with him. We wanted war with him. In fact, the Democrat Party and Obama were trying to pick a fight with Russia. And what has Russia done? Well, they got rid of ISIS with a little help from us after Trump got in office. Notice we haven't had to deal with the ISIS thing for a long time. In fact, they're barely in the news. Well, I got to take a quick break, folks. We're long again. More on the other side of this. Stay tuned. Smoke them if you got them.
Because the John Lebang Show will be right back.
After this. That's guaranteed. Yes. Pane in the Glass, commercial and residential window cleaning for a beautiful sparkling shine that's crystal clear. Call Pane in the Glass Window Cleaning. You can find them on Facebook at Pane in the Glass.
Hey, man, you're listening to the John Lebang Show, man.
That's good, because that means you ain't stupid.
You know, funny, we brought up Alex Jones. Alex Jones was doing pretty well financially because he was able to use these platforms that he was on to his advantage. Not only does he get silenced by the platform, but it's going to hurt him financially because less people are going to hear about him. Less people are going to buy his products, the things he sells on his site. So not only are they thwarting his voice, but they're attacking him financially and affecting the election. But with that being said, here in this last segment, I want to talk about the anniversary, the 17th anniversary of 9/11. Happened on a Tuesday, long time ago in 2001. Long time ago to a lot of people. I remember it thoroughly. And the further we get away from it, the less people want to talk about it. They want to forget it. It's in the past. Yet we're coming up on that anniversary. And this is the third Tuesday, 9/11, since 9/11, which happened on a Tuesday. Tuesday being the third day of the week. On the 17th anniversary of the event, John McCain died 17 days before 9/11. He did. That guy who shot up the Madden competition. He was the 2017 winner of that Madden competition. And he did that just 3 days before John McCain's birthday. Which is interesting. A lot of 17s and a lot of 3s this year. As it relates to 9/11 and events happening prior to. And those kind of things get my brain working, and I'm wondering, well, are we going to see? Are we going to see an event happen on 9/11? Not because I think there's a massive conspiracy going on, but because it's pretty regular that on 9/11, September 11th, when it falls on a Tuesday, something happens. 9/11 itself was on a Tuesday. 6 years later, on the anniversary of 9/11, which was a Tuesday, bin Laden had that big video threatening us again. For him, it was commemorating the 9/11 events. That, I'm assuming, of course. In 2012, which was the next Tuesday, the following 9/11 that had a Tuesday, that was 6 years later. Again, 6 years later, we had the Benghazi attack. You guys remember that? Hillary Clinton was involved with that. The first 9/11, Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton just left office. Their term was up. George Bush just took over. Well, now we're 6 years later. 6 years later, again. So 9/11 happens. You got 6 years later, you have bin Laden. 6 years after that, which is another Tuesday. Both are Tuesdays. All are Tuesdays. Benghazi happens. Now 6 years later again, you got a 666 there. Just saying, for everybody who's not paying attention, who doesn't know any numbers, who doesn't see things like that. 6 years later, we have this Tuesday coming up. 9/11. Man, I hope nothing goes down. But it's been pretty regular that a Tuesday on September 11th, every Tuesday since 2001, something big has happened on September 11th. And I'm not saying there's going to be, but I left the day open in case I have to cover a major event that might happen. Because the people behind 9/11, whoever they really were, if it was really bin Laden, the people behind Benghazi, if it was really who they say it was, which evidence shows it probably wasn't. And we're leery of the original 9/11 story. I mean, I am at least, and I know a lot of other people are. And if you've been going to my Facebook page, you've been seeing that I've been commemorating this anniversary with videos about 9/11, the event, since the beginning of the month. Because I want people to remember. Not because it's some tragic thing, but because that was the day we lost the freedom that we had prior to that day. Which is a whole different kind of freedom than we have now. It's more like a privilege to go out and do things these days. It's not really your freedom. Not much of that left. The NSA is out of hand with their surveillance. Police state is everywhere. Can't go anywhere without cops, either in unmarked cars or marked cars. They're loaded for bear, too. They've got military equipment in case. You have a random gunman or something chasing down a school. The country's been in chaos ever since. Either terrorist attack or now the vogue thing to do is have school shootings and church shootings and those type of events. And the media promotes it all. So here on the third Tuesday anniversary of 9/11, which equals 17 years later, each Tuesday has fallen 6 years apart from each other. There's a 666 there. Coincidence, I'm sure. I would just be cautious on where you're going to be on that day. If you can avoid something that would put you in a major populated area, John Lebang Show says, hey, do something different that day. Stay at home. Talk to the family. That type of thing. I hope something doesn't happen. But we've had 3 September 11ths that have fallen on a Tuesday end up in some kind of event. I wouldn't put it past those people out there who believe in all this numerology stuff, who have this wild Luciferian ideology, who just want to kill and destroy people, who don't care about freedom, who don't care about individual lives, to pull something that day. In fact, history has shown that it probably will happen. And I hope it doesn't. I want all of you to be safe. I wish we could live in peace, but we can't live in peace. We are so divided, not only as a country, but as a world. We're never going to be together unless there's some kind of big event that brings us all back together. If we can get past all the little petty issues that we deal with, that we create, that we conjure up ourselves. People may hate me for my words, but I'm allowed to say them for now until they find a way to ban me. I'm already shadow banned. My numbers aren't what they should be anywhere on the social media platforms. It doesn't come close to relating to what my numbers are here on the radio. And that's because I have proxies helping me out. My affiliate stations. They're out there doing a lot of the hard work for me, supporting my show, promoting my broadcast, telling people how talented they think I am. Some of my biggest supporters, I can't thank them enough. So I want you all to be safe, because I want you back here next week when we're back to full-blown 3 hours a week, 1 banger music hour, 2 hours of commentary and talk comedy. I want you to be safe out there, ladies and gentlemen. I thank you for your support all these years and in the coming years. And with that, I'm going to say this. And until the vibrations of my vocal cords reach your ears again, ladies and gentlemen, this is John Lebang, signing off from the Banger Studio.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff. Tune in again next week. Same time, same space, same station.
Resistance is futile.